How's everybody doing today? Really excited about today's video. I got a brand new backpack that I want to talk about. Now this is just a first impressions video. I have not had a chance to field test this pack at all, so this is just my initial thoughts after getting my hands on it and checking it out, doing a practice loadout and things like that. The pack is from Ultralite Sacks. It is their Recyclops 35L frameless pack. It's my first frameless pack. I have historically avoided frameless. I don't really have any good reason for that. I've just always carried a framed pack. I've always been comfortable with framed packs. So this is the first time I've really dove into a frameless pack, and I'm pretty excited. This is going to be my go-to pack for single overnight trips or longer trips where I want to go more on the ultralight side of things. I am by no means an ultralight hiker. I think my base weight is like between 12 and 14 pounds depending on the trip. I almost always have to carry a bear can, so that adds a pretty significant amount of weight. So ultralight is not a way I would describe myself. This pack, however, definitely falls into that category. The main body of this pack is made from an ultra grid material, and what that is essentially is a 210 denier nylon with 200 denier ultra fabric in a double grid pattern throughout. It makes for a very tough, durable, virtually tear-proof body for the pack. You have two side pockets that are made from a 4-way ultra stretch and a main front pocket or back pocket, depending on how you choose to describe it, made from that same ultra stretch material. The standard pack available from Ultralite Sacks fits a person with an 18 to 21 inch torso. They were kind enough to make mine a little bit bigger because I am a little bit bigger. My torso comes in at about 22.5 inches. So they made my pack just a little bit bigger, which does of course add a little bit of weight. The standard pack weighs, with all of the removable straps and everything still attached, about 15.5 ounces. If you can take off all of those extra compression straps and the Y strap across the top and the hip belt, you can get it down to 13 ounces, which is pretty remarkable for a 35L pack. Now, as I mentioned, my pack was built a little bit bigger to accommodate my body frame. So my pack with all of these straps attached comes in at about 16.1 ounces, and with everything removed, I come in at about 13.9. My best guess is that this pack has a maximum carry weight of somewhere between 18 and 22 pounds. So something to keep in mind, you know, depending on how much gear you need to carry for a specific trip or how much gear you like to carry for a given trip. You don't really have the carry capacity that you would on, like, say, a 40-liter framed pack or a 50-liter frame pack. You're going to want to keep your overall weight for the entire trip in that kind of 18 to 22 pound range. One of the really nice things about the Ultra Grid fabric is that it is very, very waterproof. You have a PCF-free DWR coating, and it's backed with a 1500 millimeter waterproof backing. So you've got a very, very waterproof material. Ultralite Sacks does bound their seams, and that is going to add to that water protection. Now, I wouldn't call this pack completely waterproof, but it is very, very, very water resistant. So I've got laid out here all of the gear that I would normally carry on a warm weather hike, which is the most likely scenario for me to be carrying this backpack, is on, you know, summer trips or even like early spring when I'm not carrying a ton of extra clothing layers and things like that, and I can keep that base weight closer to that 12, hopefully even like 10 pound range. So I've got everything laid out here that I would normally carry on a trip like that, and we're gonna go ahead and load the pack up and see how it all fits. So with all the gear loaded into my pack, walking around with it, it's very, very comfortable. You have 1/4 inch foam on your shoulder straps with a mesh material, you know, to help wick away moisture and add a little bit of ventilation to those areas. And you've got an 1/8 inch foam pad in the back of the pack so that, you know, you're not getting poked in the back by your cook kit or your poop kit or anything like that. So with all my gear loaded into the pack, I've walked around my backyard here a little bit. The pack is very, very comfortable. It carries the weight really, really well. One of the things I'm a little bit concerned about, and this might just be me not having any experience with frameless packs, but all the other packs that I've backpacked with have load lifters on the shoulder straps. This pack does not. So the way you've loaded your pack, the way it's carrying, that's just how it's going to be. You can't really make a bunch of adjustments like you could with a pack that had load lifters up on those shoulder straps. I've never had a pack without load lifters, so I don't know if this is going to be a problem or not. It's something I will definitely revisit once I've gotten some time on the trail with this and I'm ready to do the full review. The 4-way ultra stretch fabric pockets on this pack are very, very accommodating. You can fit 2 1-liter water bottles in one side or just one on each side, which is probably how I'll carry it. But you've got this fairly large front pocket. It'd be a great spot to stow wet gear, a good spot to stow like your rain gear, so you have quick access to it on the trail and you don't have to open your pack and dig around and find your rain jacket. The pack is very compact and sleek, but it makes efficient use of the space. I love the 4-way ultra stretch material. I've got that on one of my other packs and I've just fallen in love with that fabric. I hope more companies start using it moving forward. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you can remove the Y-strap across the top. You can remove the hip belt, which is just a 1-inch webbed hip belt, and you can remove all of the elastic compression straps and get that pack weight down a little bit. They've designed this pack with a lot of little extra loops and lash points, so you have a lot of flexibility in how you stow your gear on the pack. You can use all of the elastic compression straps and stick stuff on the outside of your pack. You can configure that elastic in a number of different ways. So if you needed to put a sleeping pad at the bottom of your pack or something like that, all of that is possible with all these little extra loops that they've added along the outside of the pack. One thing that I'm not 100% sure about, there's really just the two things, the load lifters, and they did include a trekking pole or ice axe loop at the bottom of the pack, but there doesn't seem to be any way to attach it at the top of the pack. You do have the elastic straps on the side. You could probably tuck them in and that would probably do the trick, or if you were using the kind of zigzagged elastic strap across the front of the pack. I came up with a fairly simple solution on my pack. I found another piece of elastic and a little clasp that I used to modify another pack that I own, and I just made this little loop at the top. Now my trekking poles can tuck right in there and it's no problem. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe this is how these packs are designed and there is a workaround that I'm just not seeing, but for me, just adding that little extra loop of elastic barely adds any weight, and it's going to be very convenient to be able to stow my trekking poles because I don't always use them, but I do always carry them. Ultralite Sacks started out making roll top dry bags, zippered storage bags, things like that. They do have 2 other packs on their website that are geared a little bit more towards the rock climbing community. So the Recyclops is really the first pack that they've put out that's specifically for backpackers. Now, the other 2 packs that they make would certainly work for backpacking or through hiking, but this is the first pack they've designed specifically for that market, and I think they did a really good job. I'm really excited to get it out on the trail and test it out. The brief amount of testing that I've been able to do here in my yard has been positive. It carries the weight well. It seems like it's very, very comfortable. All of my gear fits in it, which is lovely. I love the flexibility of having so many removable straps and additional guy points. So if I need extra storage, I can have it. If I want to go super quick and lightweight, I can strip it down to just the bare pack. I like having those options. I like having a pack that has that versatility. The 2 major concerns that I have, and time will tell if these matter at all, is the lack of load lifters that I mentioned, and then kind of the omission of a way to strap the top of your trekking poles when you're using that trekking pole loop, but I found a workaround for that. And again, this may just be my own ignorance. Maybe there is a way to do that. I've looked at several other packs in this same size, the same capacity, and Most of them seem to not have that loop at the top, even if they have like a trekking pole loop or an ice axe loop at the bottom. So it's very likely that there is a way that people do this that I'm just not privy to. The last thing I want to talk about is the price. As I mentioned, I looked at several packs in this 35 liter to 40 liter range, and most of them seem to clock in at around $250 to like $295. The Recyclops from Ultralite Sacks retails for $175, which is pretty great. It's a more budget-friendly way to kind of dip your toe into ultralight backpacking. It seems to be a quality-built product. I love buying things from little cottage companies. Ultralite Sacks is based out of Brookings, Oregon. They're a very small operation, operating, I think, still out of their home. And they put out a quality product for a reasonable price. So if you're looking for a way to kind of slowly introduce yourself into ultralight backpacking, check out Ultralite Sacks. There's a link below, of course. And full disclosure, I have joined their affiliate program. So if you buy a pack or a set of dry bags or anything off their website, I do get a little bit of money back. Just want to make that perfectly clear. Well, that is all I have for you today. I hope you found this video informative. If you have any other questions about this pack, drop them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them if I can. And we will talk again soon.